Welcome. This is the pediatric lecture series. Myself is Dr. Sunil Nathamaske, working as a professor and dean in Dr. Vithoda Vikhe Patil Foundation's Medical College, Ahmednagar. Last time we have seen the normal newborn. Now in this lecture, we are going to see the neonatal reflexes. These neonatal reflexes are also known as primitive reflexes, sometimes also called as infant or newborn reflexes, and it is also known as frontal release signs. These neonatal or primitive reflex actions originates in the central nervous system, which are exhibited by normal infants but not neurologically intact adults, and in response to particular stimuli. These neonatal reflexes are suppressed by development of frontal lobe as a child transition normally into child development. These primitive reflexes are mediated by extrapyramidal functions, many of which are already present at birth, and these are lost as the pyramidal tract gains functionally with progressive myelination. In short, these neonatal reflexes are involuntary movements or actions. Some of movements are spontaneous, occurs as a part of the baby's normal activity, and this indicates that the brain and nervous system are working well. These some neonatal reflexes occurs only in specific period of development. After that, they disappear. Much of the baby's activity in his or her first week of life is reflexive. For example, if we put a finger in a baby's mouth, it spontaneously sucks. These neonatal or primitive reflexes are divided in various groups according to the body part where it is elicited. First one is the oral reflex, and in that oral reflex, two reflexes are very important, like rooting reflex and suckling reflex in the process of breastfeeding. Rooting reflex is stimulated by touching a finger to the baby's cheek or corner of the mouth. The neonate responds to it by turning the head toward the stimulus, opening the mouth and searching for the stimulus. This is necessary reflex triggered by mother's nipple during breastfeeding, and this rooting reflex is inhibited by the age of 3 to 4 months of extrauterine life. Next oral reflex is the suckling reflex. This reflex is triggered by placing a finger or mother's nipple in the infant's mouth. The neonates will suck on the finger or nipple forcefully and rhythmically, and the sucking is coordinated with swallowing. Like the rooting reflex, it is inhibited by third or fourth month of extrauterine life. After this, the eye reflexes. In that first one is the doll's eye response. This can be noted with the infant in supine position and slowly turning the head to either side. The eyes of the infant will remain stationary on the previous side. This doll's eye response should disappear between the age of 3 to 4 months of post extrauterine life. Next one is the light reflex or a blink reflex. It is stimulated by momentarily shining a bright light, for example torch, directly into the neonate's eye, which causes him or her to blink, and also this reflex is inhibited slowly. Glabellar tap. It is elicited by repetitive tapping on the forehead. Subject blinks in response to the first several taps. If the blinking persists, this is known as Merson's sign and is abnormal, which is found in Parkinson's disease. McCarthy reflex. If you tap the infant's forehead over the one eye, only that eye will blink. Third one is the spine reflex. In spine reflex, first important is the Gallant's reflex. Gallant reflex is stimulated by placing the infant on the stomach or lightly supporting him or her under the abdomen with one hand and using a fingernail gently stroking one side of the neonate's spinal column from the head to the buttocks. The response occurs with the neonate's trunk curving toward the stimulated side. This reflex can become inhibited at any time between first and third month of age. Second reflex is the Perez reflex. Running a finger down the spine of the infant, held supported in a prone position, will normally cause the whole body to become extended. Next reflex is the Landau reflex. If the infant is held in ventral suspension, that is a prone suspension, it leads to extension of the neck, trunk, and hips. Next spinal reflex is parachute reflex. This reflex occurs in slightly older infant, that is between 6 to 7 months of age, and becomes fully mature by age of 1 year of completion. When the child is held upright and the baby's body is rotated quickly to face forward as in falling, the baby will extend their arms forward as if to break a fall, even though this reflex appears long before the baby walks. This parachute and landing reflex persist throughout the life in some of the cases. Swimming reflex. It involves placing an infant face down in a pool of water. The infant will begin to paddle and kick in swimming motion. This reflex disappears by the age of 4 to 6 months. Next reflex is the Babin reflex. On application of a pressure to both the palms of a baby, he shows head flexion, head rotation, and opening of the mouth. Smaller premature infants are more susceptible to the reflex with an observed occurrence in a child of 26 of gestation. After this spinal reflex, next one is the limb reflex. And in limb reflex, first and most important is the Morose reflex. It appears at 28 weeks of gestation. The Morose reflex occurs when an infant is lying in a supine position and is stimulated by allowing the head to fall backwards momentarily and immediate support by the examiner's hand. This stimulus results in symmetrical extension of the infant's extremity while forming C shape with the thumb and forefinger. This is followed by a return to a flex position with extremities against the body. Inhibition of Morose reflex occurs from 3rd to 6th month of life, and sometimes you may see the asymmetrical response, especially in cases of the fracture clavicle or birth injury to nerves of the arms. Many times you may see that absent Morose reflex and it suggests underlying neurological damage. Stepping reflex. Stepping reflex is observed by holding the infant in an upright position and touching one foot lightly to a flat surface, for example bed. The infant responds by making walking motion with both feet. This reflex will disappear at approximately 2 months of age. Third reflex is the placing reflex. Flexion followed by the extension of the legs when the infant is held erect and the dorsum of the foot is drawn along the under edge of a tabletop. It is obtainable of a normal infant up to the age of 6 weeks. Prone crawl reflex. It can be stimulated by placing the neonate prone, that is face down, on the flat surface. The neonate will attempt to crawl forward using arms and legs. This reflex also is inhibited by the age of 3 to 4 months of age. Next is the palmar and plantar grasp, also known as grasping reflex, which occurs as the palmar reflex when a finger is placed into the neonate's palm and neonate grabs the finger. Palmar reflex disappears around 6 months. Similarly, plantar reflex occurs by placing a finger against the base of the neonate's toe and the toes curls downwards to grab the finger. This reflex becomes inhibited around 9 to 10 months of life so that it helps in the ease of the walking. Cross adductor reflex. There is a contraction of the adductors of the thigh and inward rotation of the limb if you tap the sole. Next is the magnet reflex. If light pressure with, for example, thumb is applied on the sole of the foot of the newborn lying in a supine position, the baby pushes the back against the pressure. And when the parents withdraw his thumb, he has the sensation that his thumb is drawing the limb out as by a magnet. This is called as magnet reflex. Then very important is the postural reflex, asymmetric tonic neck reflex and symmetric tonic neck reflex. Asymmetric tonic neck reflex. In this reflex, also known as tonic labyrinthine reflex, it is activated as a result of turning the head to one side. And as the head is turned, the arm and legs on the same side will extend while the opposite limb bend in a pose that mimic a fencer. This reflex should be inhibited by 6 months of the age in waking state. Otherwise, rolling on the other side is not possible. If this reflex is still present at 8 or 9 months of age, the baby will not support his weight by straightening its arm and bringing its knee beneath his body. Symmetric tonic reflex. These two types. Symmetrical tonic neck reflex occurs with either the extension or flexion of the infant head. Depending on this, the response is different. Extension of head results in extension of the arms and flexion of the legs, and flexion of the head causes flexion of the arms and extension of the legs. First one is the extension of the head, which causes the extension of the arms and flexion of the legs. And second one is flexion of the head causes flexion of the arms and extension of the legs. These are the two subtypes. This symmetric tonic reflex becomes inhibited by 6 months of age, and if it persists, it is very difficult for baby to crawl. Pull to sit. Pull infant to sit from supine, it causes upper extremities will flex and there will be head lag until 4 to 5 months of age. Writing reflex, RIGST. When we turn the head of the infant in supine position, body of infant rolls toward the same side and it lasts from birth to first 6 months of age. Babinski reflex or a plantar reflex. It is again very important reflex in neonate's life. This Babinski or plantar reflex is triggered by stroking one side of the infant's foot upward from the heel and across the ball of the foot. The infant responds by hyperextending the toes. The great toe flexes toward the top of the foot and other toes hands outwards. It generally becomes inhibited from 6 to 9 months of postnatal life because disappearance of this reflex will help in the walking. We have seen all these neonatal or primitive reflexes which are particularly seen at some specific age period of time and then disappears depending on the age group of the child. There is one terminology in primitive reflexes is the reflex integration. It means disappearance of the neonatal reflexes. Integration equals to disappearance. A reflex that outstays its welcome is labeled as unintegrated or persistent reflex. An unintegrated reflex may signal that the baby's central nervous system has been damaged. That means if the neonatal or primitive reflex persists, that shows that there is a neurological damage. It may also show that this system has not taken over sufficiently for the reflex to become a voluntary motor movement. When primitive reflexes are not integrated, children may face not only motor challenges but also cognitive challenges, which are very commonly seen in ADHD, that is, attention deficit hyperactivity disorders. These primitive reflexes can reappear in older age, and usually it indicates the underlying neurological disease. Just we have seen the details of all these neonatal reflexes. Now in short, we summarize at what time they appear and at what time they are expected to disappear. First most important reflex is the Morose reflex, which appears at birth and it should disappear by the age of 2 months. Then walking or stepping reflex, which appears at the age of immediately after birth and disappears by the age of 2 months. Rooting reflex, which appears at the birth, should disappear by the age of 4 months. Tonic neck reflex, it appears at birth and it should disappear by the age of 5 to 7 months. Palmar grasp, which appears at birth and it should disappear by the age of 5 to 6 months. Plantar grasp, it appears at birth and it should disappear by the age of 9 to 12 months or 1 year of age. If these reflexes persist in later life, in short, we have summarized the following things will appear. If the symmetrical tonic neck reflex, it persists, it affects the walking, it causes walking on the toes, there will be poor posture and there is a lack of coordination. If Morose reflex will persist, it causes reactive and sensitive changes. That is common we have seen in attention deficit hyperactive disease, ADHD. If the sucking and rooting reflex persist, it will affect the speech, articulation, also it causes the dental problem. If the palmar grasp reflex persists, it causes the jumbling of the letters, poor writing expression and spelling, slouching at the desk or a computer. If spinal gland reflex persists, it causes the trouble sitting still and poor bladder control. Similarly, asymmetrical tonic reflex persists. It makes the child easily distracted, poor coordination, and it leads to the messy handwriting. Fear paralysis reflex. It leads to the withdrawn, shyness, tantrums, and anxiety in the developing child. And very important is the tonic labyrinthine reflex. If it persists, it causes lack of concentration, difficulty sitting in upright, and motion sickness. This was a short topic, but it is very, very important. Neonatal reflexes. Daily pediatrician or neonatologist has to elicit this all the reflexes if the child is admitted, and periodically we have to think this its persistent and disappearance of these reflexes, and it suggests and gives very highlighting signal about the underlying neurological status of the baby. So from this short lecture, take home message that knowledge of neonatal reflex is important for understanding the human development as a whole. Second, application for all assessment of the baby. Third, recognition of possible neurodevelopmental damage in a prenatal and perinatal period. Fourth, establishment of the prognosis for the future. And very, very important, predicting the child's future potential. So in short, we have seen all these neonatal or primitive reflexes and its significance. Thank you.